Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys. Hello and welcome to Fctv. I'm Steve Leather. I'm looking quite well, don't you think?
You're looking really well, yeah.
I think I'm looking all right.
Yeah.
A bit sexy. Am I?
No, you're definitely not sexy.
Okay, well, that's his opinion. I'm Hughes. Welcome to Fctv. A bit of a change this time. I'll be hosting the conversation today with the chairman and governor himself, Steve Leather.
Hello.
And the wonderful Mark Davies.
Hayes.
Right, let's do that again.
You even wrote it down. I'm going to use that in bloopers. Mark Davies.
Who's Mark Davies?
No, idea.
I know one.
Right, here we go.
So don't use that one.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to FCTV. I am Steve Leather. I think I'm looking quite well, don't you think?
No, I think you're looking terrible.
I'm Al Hughes, and we're having a bit of a change up in this episode of FCTV. I'll be hosting the conversation tonight. We're not really going to be talking about the football itself because we've not played that many matches recently, and we're taking this opportunity between games to examine the club, its future, what that future holds, and what shape that's going to take. It's pretty exciting stuff, and it's a pretty exciting future that we're going to be talking about. With me in the studio today, of course, is the governor himself, Steve Leather. Hi,
Hello.
Steve.
Hello, you okay?
How does it feel to be sitting there?
Very weird.
I said earlier on.
I am not comfortable here.
And it's funny because when you're here, you say you're not comfortable here, but you
know.
are comfortable
I
here.
think I'd rather be Michael Parkinson.
It's funny because earlier on I said it's like being the passenger in your own car.
I know, yeah.
Really
I'm a bad passenger, so I apologise in advance.
And the wonderful Mark Hayes,
Thank you very much.
sports director for the club. How are you doing?
Very well. Thanks for having me.
Good. No, well, I've not had you yet. Play your card right,
Yeah.
Mark.
Told you one of those podcasts.
Wow.
Right. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy this conversation. If you are interested in what is coming with Football Club St Helens in the immediate, the mid-term and the long-term future, you're definitely watching the right podcast today. And we'll get into the detail in a second. But before we do that, I just wanted to take a minute because this is season 2
Yes.
of FCTV. Before we get into the stuff about the club itself, Mark and Steve, let's talk about the show so far because actually it's gone rather well, and you're getting great numbers in some of the streaming channels like Spotify. I mean, I've seen some stunning numbers that have gone way beyond my early expectations. And it's starting to pick up on all other channels. What do you? Why is that happening? What is it that's triggering that?
I think it's because we're a typical grassroots semi-professional club, really. I think there's lots of football podcasts out there, but let's face it, most of them talk about the professional game or what's happened in the professional game that weekend. So I think it's quite grasping the local supporter, really, and that's the main thing about it. We wanted to increase our local support, and I think it's starting to grab that. If it goes further afield, that's always a bonus. But yeah, it's certainly, the stats you give me are incredible as an incredible start. So we just need to keep building on that, really, and try and keep the show as authentic and as relevant as possible, really.
And I think the show does give the club a bit of an edge against its competition within its sort of market, if you like, within its kind of league placement. And I think one of the things about the show, and this is something for me that's quite unique in the way that you do this, is that the shows, like you say, it's not just about football, it's about the people behind the club as well.
Yeah.
And recently you've been talking about bringing fans in onto the show as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's roughly what makes it different for me. And the other thing, of course, as well, is I don't see too many other clubs at our level doing this well.
I mean, there are clubs out there in our league that do a podcast, and they've been around doing it for a long time. But it's not like in this type of environment. It's either like a voice only type podcast, or and a couple of clubs have expanded really, and maybe just setting up on the phones and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And the league used to do a regular one, but again, that was done almost via Zoom type recording.
Right.
So the quality was never really there, really true quality, I suppose. But you know, they talk about their own clubs, and if that works for them, fantastic. We just wanted to try and take it to the next level, really.
Mark, what's your thoughts on this? Is it helping?
100%. I think there's a huge opportunity in football. The top level game, sadly, is getting a little bit outstretched for people who want to be involved in the game and watch the game, and outpriced to a certain level. And the whole VAR and not being able to celebrate a goal until 2-3 minutes later. You know, let's bring it back to grassroots. You know, together as a family, bring in the dog, whatever it is. Grassroots football is the one that you can go forward with at a pace now, I think.
Bring the dog.
Yeah,
Is that a euphemism?
No, we have lots of dog fans.
Yeah.
Lots of dog fans.
Lots of dog fans.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, dog fans. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So let's and I know it's a long story, this, and I know you could talk about this for 3 days without breathing, but in short, for the people watching at home who maybe have stumbled on the podcast today and don't really know the history of the club, how did it begin? How did you get from the first moment to where we are right now as a club? Because where we are, I think, in our league is impressive. How did that journey happen? Talk me through that, guys.
I suppose it's like mostly, I was a dad with a 6-year-old that wanted to play football, and I got involved in the coaching side of things, and that's how it really I got involved in the organisational side of football rather than playing football.
Yeah.
And so I did that for quite a few years, but it was only in 2014 that we created FC St Helens. So I was given an opportunity. I was approached by a number of people to say that we needed something different in the town, and they wanted me to try and spearhead it a little bit because of what I've done in previous years of setting up juniors and things like that. So 2014 was created really with just a view of trying to get young local talent to represent the town in one shape or form.
Yeah.
And that's how it started really. And from then, I mean, me myself, I'm very organised, and I just like to, once I've put my mind to it, I want to go and do it, and I want it done the right way, not just the obvious way. So, and I think a lot of people jumped on my ideas and things like that, but I was allowed to drive my ambitions about how the club should be formed. If this was just another pub team, then I would have packed it in years and years and years ago. So but it was from day one I really had an ambition to try and create something, and those doors really opened in, like I said, 2013 it was when they got approached, but 2014 we then started to put, well, what do we want to do with this thing? And I was thrown a set of keys at the clubhouse, at the old cricket club, and said, we don't want it anymore, you can have it. And that was really the start of it, really. And I was given this massive opportunity, and I'm almost a blank piece of paper, really, to form a football club in the town that wasn't like any other football club. And
A lot of people would give you the right arm for an opportunity like that.
Yeah, I was in the right place at the right time. There's some years when I wish I wasn't in the room at the time to set me a set of keys, but I was given this opportunity, and I had a great set of lads. The players were motivated to help me do that a little bit, and there was almost like a leap of faith for some of these lads. I mean, some of the lads are still playing with us today.
Yeah.
You've met Steve Ashton and the Liam Mortons of the world, and
Brilliant.
And that's how it started, really.
Yeah. And my very first impression of the club when I first walked into it, literally as I walked into the grounds, was at the level we're playing at, it felt already like it's punching above its weight. It's actually, it feels like it's at a higher level. And I'm not talking about the football necessarily. Of course, the team are playing great football. And, I keep saying, don't you keep telling me to shut up, but I keep saying, it's got Premier League written all over it. But I think at some point in its future, whether that's near or distant, FC St Helens will be appearing in the big leagues. Yeah. It's got that thing about it. But putting the football to one side, when you walk in, just as an experience, it feels like I'm walking into a higher league environment.
It's strange you say that, because it's probably one of the few. It's probably the most common phrases I hear when people arrive to the ground for the very first time, whether that be a sport or whether that's an opponent has never been to the ground. So it's one of the most common things you ever hear is like, what a nice ground, what it's set up. You didn't realise it was here. But you're right. As soon as you walk through the gate, it's almost like, because I wanted this position where the two stands are. So you walk in, and it's especially nicer in the evening when the floodlights are on.
Sure.
and you walk through the gap and you think, oh my God, didn't even know this was here. That's a very common phrase that we hear every season since we've been there. And I think we just need to keep building on that, creating that feeling that you've had when you first walked in.
And still get, to be honest, I still get the same feeling, you know, and it's, for me, I mean, I worked at Liverpool Football Club for 2 years as their head of fan experience. And this is going to sound completely contrived, right? But I get more of a buzz with FC St Helens. I'm serious, and I'm not by my very nature a huge football fan. You know, I'm probably the only Scotsman in the world that isn't really a football fan and doesn't drink whiskey. You know, I do everything else. Otherwise, I'm a complete stereotype. I wear a kilt. I like haggis and I love square sausage.
And iron brew.
Of course. Did you say champagne?
Yeah.
But my I guess my point is, when I walked into FC St Helens, it's a different level, and it's not Liverpool Football Club, but it's got that absolute, at its heart, sense and pride about community, and that spills over into how the players play, and it spills over into the vibe of the club when you get there. It's got an astonishing feeling about it, much more than any other club I've ever sort of walked into. So there's something. You're partly responsible for that, Mark, aren't you? Because you've done a lot with the club.
Yeah, I'd like to think so, and it's complementing what Steve's built, to be fair, and I think that's where I came in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago, is I've then kind of concentrated on the width. What Steve's done has done it at pace, and I kind of just helped, direct it a little bit more wider, and just, the community feel was already there, but it's connecting everything together.
Let me ask you, for people who don't know, and I include myself in this, when you say, that was quite generic, I am responsible for width, that could mean a lot of things. So if it's not that kind of show.
That one,
it's not that kind of show. But you're responsible for the width of the club. What does that mean? Well, give me a couple of examples of what you've done to extend the width of the club, as you put it. What have you done?
I think naturally now a football club can't survive just by being a football club, so it needs to be much more than that. So it's multi-use facility, and that's what I've concentrated on. So we've kind of got the dementia links that we've got going forward, making it into a cafe.
Amazing.
We've got the whole disability and inclusion, where we host things within the club and outside of the club. So we've gone from having no football team regarding disability inclusion to having a league being played on a Tuesday afternoon, which is just ridiculous.
But an amazing team.
Yeah.
What was the lad, the goalkeeper that was in an episode?
Liam.
Yeah. What a character.
Yeah.
What a character. What about, talk about passion for his club.
And the smiles on them faces are just absolutely priceless. When you consider on Bishop Road, which we'll come into it in a little bit, there was over 100 people on a Tuesday afternoon who were having absolutely joy, thinking they were world beaters, which they were, playing in an inclusive league, which we've started hosting with the help with everybody else in the likes of Buzzhub, which has been fantastic. Men's mental health, we're the ones who host it on a Monday night, Andy's Man Club at FC St Helens. So it's involving everybody, not just having football as the be all and end all. It's key that obviously that's central to it. We've got the darts team as well, so we're an open community hub.
No, I love that about it,
and that's how we should play.
A lot of people will have an interest in, where's this club actually going? What does it mean to the community? How's it going to grow? What shape's it going to take? And how's it going to impact the lives of these people watching who have a passion for the club? So what commercially is the plan for 2026, in short?
In short, God, it could be a long short.
Or long then.
Yeah. I think because of the successes we've had, not just on the field, but off the field as well. And the width that the club's creating for what we've talked about, that brings its own challenges. There's a lot of pressure on the club to allow us to build on that. And that all comes down to facilities. So whilst that's the long term, which I know we'll dive into a little bit deeper, but this year particularly is going to have to be the first step towards that. So when we formed the club in 2014, we didn't really start the business plan until 2019, because that's when we finally got the keys to the site properly and we could put a spade in the ground type thing. And we accomplished our 5-year plan. Within 6 months of the end of that. So we accomplished that target quite well. What we've done now is rewrote that 5-year plan. And that 5-year plan starts off this year.
This is effectively year 6 of a plan.
Yeah. So what we need to do is think about how we're going to deliver this. And so one of the first steps I'll make, we're going to make some, quite big structural changes in 2026, right from the junior setup, right up through to the first team. And when I say structurally, I don't want people thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen type of thing. But it's more about how the management side of that works a little bit, and how the finances are moved, and the resources are placed somewhere else to make sure each section of the club has got a good foundation to build on the fit business plan. Yeah. So I need to sit down with them, along with Mark and Judith and Grant, to sit down with them and really say, well, this is the direction we need to go in. So junior section.
These are now strategic conversations.
Yes, these are strategic conversations that we know what we're going to do with the juniors, because they're the kids coming through for the future. That's so we're going to do that. Second thing, we need to change our commercial output. So we need to get better at commercial. We've got a great commercial manager in Tony, and he's worked his socks off this year. And we've probably made a bigger impact in the last season than we've always ever done. Yeah. But we need to get better. So I want to try and focus more on a little bit more commercial aspects. Yeah. Another street conversation we'll have with Tony and things like that. And the third and the final thing is to deliver what we want in this first round. And this is my job now, is I need to go out there and find an investor or investors that will find this club attractive to put the money in to enable us to.
What scale of investment we're talking about here?
God, well, I mean, one of the ambitions.
I don't mean pounds and pence. Just what scale?
It is pounds and pence, unfortunately.
Okay.
One of my biggest ambitions. We need to drive more revenues. We can't just survive on a bar take-ins or someone paying £6-7 to get in through the door. We can't survive on that. We need a 3G facility. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. The key question is where is that 3G based?
Can you explain for the people at home who don't know what 3G is?
It's an artificial pitch, so it becomes almost like an all-weather. We don't need.
But it's a certain grade of artificial pitch.
Yeah. So there's two types we can look at. If the number one priority really is to maybe convert the existing ground pitch, the first team and all that are playing is the FIFA registered 3G facility. Yeah. That will allow us to forget about most of the postponed games we have because of the rubbish weather we have. But it'll also drive revenues through that we can rent out the pitch, then we can use it to its maximum throughout the day, offer it to schools. We can then bring in the disability sides, all that kind of thing.
It generates its own income.
It generates its own incomes, yeah. So that's on the Windle Shore. And then we've obviously got Bishop Road, which I know we're going to discuss slightly separately because it's a slightly different business plan with Bishop Road. But one of the other things we need to keep thinking about ideas about bringing in revenue. So this week, or last week, I should say, we're in good conversations about we just need to get away sometimes from football a little bit. Yeah. So we're looking at planning permission for 2 paddle courts, that type of thing, on the same site. Okay. So these things, so we're starting to spread our wings a little bit and diverse into slightly different sports, but all on the one site. It's the main objectives is that we want to drive the revenues that will help us get to where we want to be, but also attract an investor that will be able to help us to get this thing up and running.
Okay, now. And if you're an investor watching this, and I'm pretty sure at some point somebody with their hands in the purse of a big budget looking for something to really invest in that will make a difference to your business, to your bottom line, but also to the community that the club's based in, you can reach out to Steve on the details that are now flashing across the screen. And I'm sure you'll find that Steve will respond to that kind of email pretty promptly. And you can also reach out to Mark as well on these details. But the club is looking for serious investment to help prop up this pretty ambitious and impressive 5-year plan that Steve has referred to, which we're not going to go into all the details about today. But in order to prop that up, we are looking for some pretty serious investment conversations to start happening. So get in touch if you think that you're that person, or that you think you know an avenue for the club to take to speak to that person or people. Get in touch and fingers crossed that can be a pretty fruitful conversation for everybody. And Mark, very quickly before we go on to talk about a couple of other things, your top 3 ambitions for 2026, what would they be? What are the 3 things that you're focused on in your role in the club that you think are paramount this year?
Not to duck the question, but I think it's very similar to what Steve's saying there. I think
You're ducking the question.
it's all gung ho in the same direction of the 3G facility.
Okay.
We can plan for anything and everything, and we plan for everything, but we can't plan for the weather.
Yes.
Sadly, the football season is never going to change. I know there's loads of talk, and we all speak about it over a pint every now and again of, I wish we had summer football and this and that. It's never going to change. That's not going to happen. And sadly, the weather has gone the wrong direction. It seems to rain more than it ever has done. You know, gone are the times when we were at school and it used to be the 4 seasons. So sadly, you know, I'm fully in the same boat of let's go forward, marching in the same direction with them 3 plans that we have, because we need it for sustainability. Without the change of the 3G pitch, sadly, our plans for the club have to be reserved. Yeah. And we don't want to be reserved. You know, within our lifetime, we want to make more aspirations within the facilities at FC St Helens, which, you know, St Helens as a town is very, very lucky. There's 3 non-league football teams all within a one-way system, really, within a stone's throws distance. But there's one that has got its own grounds that we can keep developing and building.
What you mean is that FC St Helens is the brightest light?
Of course.
Okay, that's.
I think what Mark's adding to what Mark's saying is we've been going at such a pace over the years. The 10, 11 years, we've been full throttle, really, both on and off the field. And I think what we're getting to the point now is we can feel that slowing down a little bit, and we're not in this game, like me and Mark and the other people around, to take our foot off the pedal here. Yes. And but we're having to slow down because we're restricted to what we've got. Yeah. And we need to put some extra tracks on the
Got it. And I think that's very clear. And I think a message as well to the wider community of St Helens is that, you know, club, yes, it's one thing getting serious sponsorship on board. That's one thing, right? So investment on board with the club to help prop it up to achieve these grand plans. But equally as important, I feel, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, the good people of St Helens and the wider region who are watching now, the way that the community can support this club is by getting through the turnstile, you know, and getting those numbers up on match days, because that, in terms of reputation, motivation, lifts the club as well, and actually makes it a much more attractive proposition anyway, doesn't it?
Sure, you know? Absolutely. Yeah.
The more bums on seats, the more attractive it is to any investor. Yeah. So, you know, calling all people of St Helens, you know what to do. It's not going to take that much time out of your day, and I've been there. Trust me, it's a great experience and it's time well spent. Okay, so Bishop's Road, let's talk about that. Yes. I'm conscious of time. We've got about 10 minutes left of the show. Bishop's Road playing fields. So you won, Mark and Steve, you won the asset transfer of the fields. Yes. Now, you had to educate me on what that meant. So just for the folks watching, what does that actually mean? So first of all, well done. That was August, November last year?
November, we got the word on it, yeah.
So well done. Now that I know what it means, hearty congratulations. But for the people who don't have a clue what that means, what does winning the asset transfer of the Bishop's Road's playing fields, what does it mean practically, but what does it mean to FC St Helens?
Well, the assets transfer basically is where they've got, council have got existing council playing fields that it's just open to the general public. Yeah. Because of the council's situations in financing them, cutting costs and things like that, they look for opportunities and ways of cutting their costs. So one of the ways of doing that is to give these fields to community organisations and give them full carte blanche of looking after it. So it almost takes it off their books a little bit, but retaining an interest in it long term. But what that allows us for a club to do is we can mould it how we want it to be, and we still have to go through the normal procedures of planning permission, all that kind of boring stuff. But what it allows us to do is it gives us a lot more control, but equally, and well, just as importantly, it allows you, once you've got this asset transfer piece of paper in your hand, it opens the doors for a lot of funding through the likes of the Football Foundation and that type of thing. So we can tap into hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of funding simply by having an asset transfer. Okay. What that means for the club is that we can then, one of the more immediate problems we've had is we want to create the second women's team. You know, we were in a. I was devastated last summer when we were having to in a position we had that much demand for the women's football.
Yeah.
We had to turn these women away because we just didn't have the facilities to give them. So an asset transfer allows that to happen. We can create a second team. We can create and expand on the disability league that Mark has already mentioned. We can then got an avenue because, Baz Pope, who's been on the show before, he's under 18 side. They're at an age now where they need adult football next year. And with adult football becomes the challenges of changing rooms, basic stuff you expect on a football field. Bishop Road allows you to do that. And so it opens a wealth of opportunities, really, and we can invest in improving the quality of the football pitches.
Yeah. Which kind of brings me to my last two questions. So one question each, and be as direct and honest as you like. I'm going to come to you first, Mark. Okay. So if you could give I think it's important in this particular episode that the people that we're kind of really looking to get feedback from and input from are A, the community, the wider community, and B, potential investors. So first of all, for you, Mark, if you've got a message for anybody watching today around what can the St Helens and wider community do to support this plan for the club, what's your message to the community? What can the community do to help you?
I think it's just spreading the word in general is we've got to be proud of what we've got. And I think you look at the likes of, well, we're not looking for film stars, by the way, but look at what happened at Wrexham. There was a little bit of interest from abroad, and Wrexham, a small, struggling team in Wales, had an investment. Yeah. And again, we're not looking for, whoever, but that...
Or yes, we are.
Oh, of course, yeah. That'll help even more. Yeah. But the knock-on effect that has had, not just to the football, but to the borough, it's completely changed Wrexham.
It's revolutionised a lot of the economy in town.
It's completely... Yeah. And that's, that's the fairy tales that we're talking of. Wrexham have gone up promotion. Next year they could be in the Premier League.
But you talked about community, so you're... In a single sentence, the community can do what to support the growth of the club?
Start coming to the club through the doors, through the gates, which has the knock-on effect of us spreading the word of red and white stripes.
All right, that's a good message. And Steve, for you, obviously the intention is that, or the hope is that the right people will watch this episode at some point, who might be the investor we're looking for or have roads into those conversations. What's your message to anybody watching who might be able to start that snowball rolling down that hill around investment for the club for the future? What would you like to say to anybody watching who might have that influence?
Come and talk to us, and see it for yourself. It's difficult to describe to an investor to put money into a football club because there's a lot of negative. There's great stories about Wrexham's, but there's a lot of negative out there as well. That is it just going in players' back pockets and stuff like that? And I get that. But as we hope we've portrayed today, is that we're not just about a football team. It's about the bigger picture here, and it's about a longer term project, and we are very, very confident we can deliver on that. We just need the help and the support to deliver it.
Right.
And the only way and then potential investors that can do that is just picking up phone, ringing us, contacting us, and come and have a coffee with us, and let them see it for themselves. Because I don't need to sit there and sell this club. 100%.
Oh no, you definitely don't have to.
I'll just let the club do that for me.
The experience sells itself.
Yeah, and I think I'm a firm believer there's an investor out there, or investors, or consortium, whatever. I don't care what guys it is. They will come to the table, and it sounds. I don't know whether I'm shooting myself in the foot in this, but it's equally as important for me to make sure we've got the right investors on, because if it's not the right person, I've spent best part of 15, 20 years, my blood and sweat building this. I'm not just going to hand it over to a guy that will take 10 minutes to destroy it.
Yeah.
So, it's a two-way thing, this, but I believe, and I generally do believe, that if it was someone will come in and see what we're about to deliver, and we will deliver it, of course, one way or another, we will deliver it. Do they want to be part of this journey? And if they can just make that first step to do that, then I've no doubt they will.
So if you're watching and you are a member of the wider community, to Mark's point, just come down to one game, have a go, and you'll be back for more. And to Steve's point, if you are an investor or somebody who knows how to start that conversation, just get in touch. It's an easy thing to do. Just pick up the phone. Steve's primed, Mark is primed to have those conversations with you right now. So again, you know what you need to do. I have the feeling, based on my experience at the club so far and all the people involved in it who I've met, that over the last 14 years, what you've actually done is lit the fuse of a very big, colourful firework that's just about to go off. I hold out every hope, and I'm completely and utterly confident that the club's future is everything we think it's going to be. And thank you both for allowing me to come into the show today and talk to you. I think, I know we know each other, but in a very unbiased sort of way, I'll make this comment. Organisations and clubs at this level in the community are very often struggling just to find the right people to turn the wheel, to keep it going, to make it happen. What we have here, and this is just two examples sitting next to me, and I mean this quite genuinely, two examples of many examples within the club. These are the right people, people with good hearts, with a community at the centre of their thinking, but the ambition to put this club stratospherically into different leagues. And I think, for me, it all feels very plausible. So thank you very much, both of you.
Pleasure.
For coming in today. Appreciate it. If you get any questions that you'd like to ask Mark or Steve, drop them in the comments or just get in touch on the details going across the screen right now. But I've got two things to ask you watching today. The first one is, if you have watched this podcast to the end, this will take 30 seconds and it's so important. Please now, just straight after I finish talking and the theme tune kicks in, go and press the subscribe button on the Fctv YouTube channel. You have no idea the difference that will make. And the bigger the subscription base is for the channel, the easier it is for Steve, Mark and the rest of the guys to monetize the podcast and make some extra income for the club and elevate its standing within the community as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you enjoy this episode? Stick it in the comments. These guys have talked about a lot of very important things, and this club has an incredibly bright future ahead of it, but you've just got the tip of the iceberg of the challenges the club faces to bring that future to life. What do you think about that? Get your answers in the comments. Let us know how much you enjoyed the episode, and indeed how much you're enjoying the podcast show, the ongoing show itself. Thank you very much for watching. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Have a great time, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for watching FCTV.
We are football.